Greetings, true believers. Joe Pal Spider-Man. Good morning, Cadre. We're going to do a different type of shave today. So we've got a thread on the Shaving Cadre where somebody was asking about like which type of brush to use for which purpose. If you're face lathering, do you use strictly Badgers? When you use a boar brush, how do you use it? So, my answer is pretty much always, it doesn't matter. I'll use whatever brush for whatever purpose. We've got a new member on the forum, Beginnish, Fob. But we've known him from other forums for many years. And he said he pretty much agreed with me, any brush for any purpose. He said, except for small brushes. He said small brushes he doesn't like to use with bowls, so small brushes are just for face lathering. So Josh commented that challenge, and he said he would need to find like a Wee Scot, which is one of the smallest brushes out there, and I've got one. So challenge, game on. So my entire shave right here is in the bowl. So everything that I will be using today fits inside the bowl, and that's what I'll be using today. So I've got the Wee Scot, the Simpsons Wee Scot. So I'm gonna run that under some water real quick. Excuse me. Still got some of that lingering cold. So we are going to use some CBL Irish Moose test batch that Chris sent me. So what I do, I usually don't show this on camera. I've got a little, this was a spoon from like a frozen yogurt place. So that's what I use to scoop out my samples. So I just scoop out a bit and just put it right into the bowl. And then I just use my finger and kind of smear that around the bottom. And so that's what I do to prepare a sample that I'm going to use. So we got some rain yesterday, pretty much most of the day, and melted most of our ice, so that's gone. I think it's supposed to be still relatively cool today, but tomorrow it's supposed to get up into the 50s, so whatever might happen to be left will certainly be melted by tomorrow, except for the large snow piles. But I have heard chatter on Facebook and whatnot that the Weather Center says that this weekend we're supposed to get another big snowstorm. Got some friends in Kansas City who said that Kansas City's weather was calling for 10 inches to fall between Friday and Sunday. So I looked at our forecast and it definitely said rain for Friday and Sunday, but it didn't call for anything on Saturday. So, but I didn't see any snow accumulation totals. It just said a possibility. So I don't know what we're expecting here. Sometimes we're an hour outside of Kansas City, so sometimes we get the same thing as Kansas City and it just blows through both, but a lot of times Kansas City will get stuff a lot worse than we do, because the storms will kind of come diagonally to the northeast, and it'll hit Kansas City head on and just kind of skirt by us. So sometimes we just don't get it. So lather, brush, Actually found that the brush bowl lathered almost easier than it face lathers. So aside from getting lather all over my fingers, there really wasn't any difference between that and using a bigger brush. Again, we're on day 12 of my one blade February challenge. So getting close to the halfway mark. I'm finding I have to pay close attention to the angle on this shave if I want it to be comfortable. Kind of have to ride the cap a little bit. Otherwise it wants to kind of grab. Yesterday's shave, I kind of missed this upper area. So I wanted to make sure I got that good. The Wee Scot is a great little razor, great little brush, perfectly suited for being a travel brush. It's nice and small, packs away easy. The only problem I have with it is the tips are not soft. So instead of like hacking off the bottom of the hair when they make that brush and making, you know, leaving the nice soft tips, it's like they hacked off the top of the brush and you're just left with the middle of the bristle. That's almost how it feels. It's very like scritchy. I think well, I added some water to that lather. It's kind of drying out a little bit, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. But I had no problem Hit me. I had no problem using the small brush to get copious amounts of lather. So if you're following along with bingo, man, my throat is just loosening up and letting stuff go. So hopefully that means I'm on the downswing. Anyways, if you're following bingo, or if you're not, yesterday was a recap. So I posted all of the numbers that had already been called to catch everybody up in case they had missed something. So, level playing field starting yesterday. I know there's a few people that are 1 or 2 calls away, so could happen anytime. Could be a week, never know. But I've been using the actual bingo machine to pull the calls. I had started a randomized list to make the calls, and I called the first day using a randomized list, and then we had a snow day, and I left the list at work. So from there on out, I just have been using my bingo machine, and I pull out 3 new balls every day, and that's what I call. So might be the closest thing to actually playing actual real bingo on the forum. Alright, so I said everything that I was going to use today was in the bowl, and I didn't put any witch hazel in the bowl. So I'm going straight for the aftershave. This is a small sample that I got from Oz Shaving in their polychrome scent. Which, when I had the soap sample, I really didn't care for the scent as a soap sample, but as an aftershave, I'm kind of digging this. I'm not really sure what the notes are, but I kind of do like this as an aftershave. And it's kind of spicy. Kind of sweet, but it's like a scent that can kind of go with anything, I think. So there's my shave for today. So Bob, that was for you, and we'll see you guys on the forums. I'm Spider, and later.